I mean, like you said, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a potential life partner.
wife.
Yeah,
Oh,
potential life partner,
okay.
a wife. Like
Ben,
yeah,
1-800,
yeah,
call Ben now.
yeah.
Welcome to this episode of Clean Your Toilet podcast. My name is Cheryl Miles. Some of you might know me from radio. I was a radio DJ for 16 years. Today, I run my own company, Miles Nixon Media, which is a company that helps people with public speaking as well as media training. And I also have a candle and cookbook range called the Smitten Collection. Today, we have a very exciting guest who's actually been here for the last few episodes. I know him as the Smiling Afro, but his name is Ben. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello Cheryl. Good to see you. My name is Ben, the Smiling Afro. Yes, I'm better known for my nickname, my on-stage name. It's much like the Flying Dutchman. It's just, there's no persona to it. It's just me. Ben is the Smiling Afro's Ben, And I'm a content creator, full-time. And I also do hosting and acting on the side.
Nice.
Yeah,
and you have a good head of hair.
Oh, I do my best. Today is quite okay. Yeah, nice.
So it's interesting that they have thrown the two of us together because I think we have some similarities in that we both MC,
we're
right?
both in a somewhat same industry.
Yes, we were both in front of the camera a lot for content creation, for all kinds of things.
Yep.
But there has to be a side of you that other people don't see.
Right.
That's kind of what we're going to unpack today because
the shadow of my side.
The theme for this season is shadows of relationships. I feel like our shadow side comes up when we are in very intimate relationships, whether friendships or romantic relationships, right? Because somehow they will find a way to trigger us or get under our skin, or they'll notice the weird things that we're doing because if we're acting from our shadow self.
Yes.
So first and foremost, let's first discuss what is the shadow self to you?
Well, I guess, from what you just mentioned about, how only in intimate sessions with our most trusted people do our shadows come out, right? I feel like that's when we reveal our shadow.
Yeah.
Or shadow, yeah. And so, shadow to me in a relationship is, I guess, a deeper true self, not really seen.
Okay. Do you think
that's why it's dark.
Yeah.
It's like a silhouette of myself with the afro hair. So it's me, but it's just a darker version, which I don't necessarily want a lot of people to see, right? Because it's maybe more vulnerable, maybe the weak points, or maybe it's the true Ben.
Yeah.
That I might not want everyone to see because it's crazy. I don't know, but yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think you don't want them to see this side of you?
It's very personal, right? It's very personal, and I like the concept that it's a shadow because it is me. It will always follow me because it's part of me. But people see this first, right? Not the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what I present. I don't necessarily present the shadow, but then when you're very close to me, I want you to see what made me and what is part of me. I think the shadow represents what is part of my life that you may not see, because I get this a lot. People say that, hey, we see you smiling afro, so you must be a very happy guy, but there must be something there. The old saying about every comedian has a
dark side,
right? Every clown has some story to tell, some trauma, I think. And I'm like, yes and no. I think all of us have our own stories to tell, right? It's just that some of us have the personality to become more open and more a out there person.
Yeah, right? Because I have a background in entertainment and being in the media and the spotlight. You tend to, as part of being a professional, compartmentalize things like break out your boyfriend, your dog died, had a bad day, had a fight with your best friend. These are personal things, but the show must go on, as they say. So you have to kind of park it, put it aside, deal with it later, or sometimes never at all.
Yes.
Do you feel like in the work that you do as an entertainer, as the Smiling Afro, because you kind of given yourself this name where you're expected to always be happy, that it becomes hard to fulfill that expectation in certain situations?
So great question. So the Smiling Afro brand nickname actually came off because of
Your hair?
like yeah, a good start. It came off like from pain, right? It's like so. Long story short, my mom passed 14 years ago, and I happened to be looking for a nickname about within a year later, right? I was looking back. So I was thinking to myself, what really represents me
Yeah.
as a person, right? And so the hair when I grew when I was 17 years old in Polytechnic, and that's when I became. That's where it really changed my life because people all around me were like, "Oh, you have curly hair. Oh, you can grow an afro. You with the Chinese face, you Chinese face and grow afro. What is this, right?" And it changed my life because I was getting more positive reactions than negative. People were like smiling and they see me on the street or whatever. And at the same time, I already like to make people smile and laugh. I love to joke around and be the clown, right? And then the hair just added to it. So I was like, you know what? This is my natural hair.
Yeah.
And it's giving off the reactions I wanted to give off. So yeah, the hair is a very big part of my life, afro hair, right? And so I want it to be part of my nickname. And at the same time, I was thinking, but I can't just say the afro guy, right?
Yeah.
And what would be unique to put in there? And so I grew up a smiling baby. My mom used to remind me that when I was a young boy all the way to all the way to like teenage years, I was always a smiling kid, and then she always talk about it with relatives and all. Why are you going out? You're always smiling, right? When I wake up in the morning, I'll see my little Ben in the cot smiling, everything. Yeah. Even up to kindergarten, right? There's this picture in my room. I still have it because it's very important to me. I'm the only kid in class smiling. Only kid. So there's once, teenage years, teenage angst, puberty, or argue with parents, argue with mother, all right? Then there was one day, post-argument, I went to my room, show temper, I sit on my bed, show temper. Then my mother came in, and then she looked at the picture of my nursery picture, smiling face. She, hi, where did my smiling boy go? Then she walked out. Then I stood up, I went to my picture, and I was like, gosh, I was like, the only kid in class smiling, and now every time so angry, teenagers everything so angsty every day also argue with my mother and so so that moment stayed with me for a long time. So when I was creating this nickname, right, I was like, and my mom already passed 1 year later, so I was like, the afro hair was a big part of my life. My mom was a big part of my life. And then I got reminded about the smiling baby comment, the smiling boy. I was like, hey, I really like to make people laugh, and I want that word, smiling, to really be part of my life.
Yeah.
So this is way before I started the career part. It was just a nickname. So the Smiling Afro came out. So yeah, so and I think that's why when it comes to my journey, right, I never had this stress or pressure to feel that I must always be smiling because I call myself Smiling Afro.
Okay.
It came from a very human part of me. No, I'm human. I experience all the emotions. And therefore, Smiling Afro is just the nickname of what I want to achieve. But it doesn't mean I will always just have to be that so-called personality for others. There's the time and place for Smiling Afro per se.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, people do all the time come to me, hey, Smiling Afro, so you're always smiling, so you always want to be happy, so your life very good, right? I say, no, but it's because I know pain, suffering, and sadness, and I embrace it.
Yes.
Therefore, I know how to be happy too.
Yes.
And yeah.
So would you say you've always embraced your shadow side then? Because I have a different, now I have a different understanding. But back before, I used to think that I had darkness. I used to think that the pain I experienced was almost separate from myself, that there was a darkness, I don't know if I went through a goth phase, but I was an emo kid with music and stuff. But and now I understand that my shadow side is the unloved parts of myself that when I stop to ask myself, why does it hurt when this happens? Then I'm able to unpack, the areas of my life that maybe did not receive the kind of attention or love that I needed in that moment.
Yes.
There's a saying that I like by George R.R. Martin that the brightest flame casts the darkest shadows. And I resonate with that because having had a career in entertainment, always being in the spotlight, I've always had to hide my shadows, and I've always felt very almost ashamed of it because I didn't want people to know, the stuff I was going through, eating disorders.
Right.
I presented like I was confident, but really inside I was very insecure, felt unloved, didn't want people to know that, right? So there was always this big persona, showgirl, dancer, all these things. So I'm kind of jealous of you that you say you've always known that you have. So Smiling Afro is not a persona that you created to kind of be separate from you.
No,
so you've embraced your shadow side, and it's always been there.
Yeah, it's been there since I would say 21, 22 years old. So about 12 years ago. Let's say coming up from getting over, I'm not saying getting over, but accepting my mom's death, right? And basically also embracing it as the shadow of my life, right? Where, I had a 1 year of depression and going through life crisis, asking myself about life and everything. And then after going through that, getting out of it, and then that's when, it became it will always be me, right? I never wanted to run away from the fact that I had pain and suffering, but I just realized that it basically becomes my shadow, right? Or it adds on to my shadow.
Yeah.
And it's there forever with me, following me around, but it's like my reflection and a reminder of who or what or how I became this today.
Yes.
Basically. And I think even before I went into the spotlight per se, right?
Yeah.
Before I knew when I wanted to start this content creation journey 7 years ago, once I'm out there on the internet, I'm there forever and I'm there to be criticized, scrutinized, judged or whatever. I need to know that I am comfortable with myself and my own shadows.
Yes.
And I didn't want to hide or be someone else.
Yeah.
Because I know it will eat me one day.
Yes.
Because I've seen it in my peers, even before I started, and even in Hollywood, whatever. And I just didn't want that to happen. And so I've always embraced the shadow. So I of course I didn't know I'll become so-called mildly famous or whatever.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do videos, right? And when I started getting a bit more fame, I'm people ask me, hey, so do you hide a lot of things now because you don't want the public to know, or you just want them to see you as this, and then don't want to know the truth? And honestly, I always say, if people ask, I'm very happy to share what my foundations are or what made me. Yeah. And we come back to the phrase, the brightest flame casts the darkest shadows.
But
So-called,
if you stand in front of the sun, right? And I've also read this book where, I forget what it's called, but it was about, I think The Star Called You or something like that, something about becoming a star. And the people who somewhat chase stardom or become famous, if they don't deal with their shadow side, those problems become amplified. And so it's good that you are aware of that, because you're saying that when you took this journey on to become in the public eye, you didn't want people to poke holes or anything. You wanted to be able to be okay with the criticism. So you're saying that your superpower is your shadow side, being okay with holding that space.
Embracing whatever made me, especially the vulnerable side. Because I get it. A lot of people want to seem very strong. I get it, because you're a presenter, you must come in the room and everything. But I've always felt, I would like to come in, I'll be confident, but I also want people to know where the confidence comes from. It was from a lot of hard work and pain. It was from a lot of basically vulnerability and young insecurities, and then getting out of it, right? And as opposed to no, I've always been a strong man. And it's it came from, I was born this way.
Well, that's awesome. That's what I think makes you so authentic and endearing, right?
Yeah.
So I follow you on Instagram, and I've been a big fan of your auntie, Margaret.
Yes, Auntie Margaret.
And so sorry that she's passed away recently. It's been a few months now.
Yeah, a few months. Yeah.
And I have a question personally, but one of your first posts following that, and this is how I found out she passed away, there was a joke you made
Oh, yes.
about the wake.
The dark humor, yeah. I had one chance.
So just to briefly describe this video,
Yeah.
or the joke was basically, why is it called awake when the person's not awake or is not ever getting up, right?
Yeah.
And I started crying for you because I just know what the pain of losing someone feels like.
Yeah.
Were you hiding behind the humor to deal with it or process it?
Well, good question, because I think so. Dealing with my aunt's death was very different from my mom's death. So my mom was sudden death, like literally out of nowhere. I said goodbye to her in the morning. I went to school. 1 hour later, I got a call that from my sister, like, Mom's not moving. The ambulance is on the way. I'll see you at the hospital. I was like, okay. So it was like so sudden, like nothing. We had plans for the year and whatnot. It was 1 week after Chinese New Year. It was 3 weeks to my birthday, 21st birthday somehow, right? So it was like all going on. And so that was my first dealing with grief, right? My aunt's one, she had cancer. And she was given 6 months 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and she lasted 3 years. So it was more like I kind of knew it was coming. So since the day the news broke 3 years ago, I made sure every day was precious. Every time spent with her was precious.
Yeah.
And she knew also, right? And then you say, we'll take every day, and we'll have this conversation. Every day we just take. We just take until we cannot take anymore, right? So I think when it came, it wasn't like a stab in the heart.
Yes.
It's more like, all right, I have finished the credits of this game. Like credits put in for this machine, right? And all right, okay, we're done. And I've glad that I actually make sure I made the best use of it. So there were no regrets.
Yeah.
So it was more like, and my aunt and I, she's typical Eurasian, like, full of humor, full of dark humor. Or like we always joke about death and stuff, and it's just we just love to laugh about it, right? And so right at the end, even she knew we were talking about it, like, when you're gonna continue joking about me when I'm gone, right? I said, you continue, people remember me again. So so when the week happened, I was like, I love making content, and I've always had this joke. And I know my aunt would be more than happy to be part of the joke. I
mean, really, why is it called awake, right? It's kind of like...
it's kind of ironic. Welcome
it is called awake. Yeah, because we're the ones staying awake, right? That's where it came from, I guess.
I guess so.
Keeping vigil.
Keeping vigil. We stay awake for the date to pass or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I figure it's it's so in my flavor of humor anyways. and I don't know, I didn't show my aunt's face, right? I still worked the way around it. And
yes, it was her actual coffin, by the way. It wasn't like you set it up. Yeah.
But at the same time, do you know how many people came up to me, honestly, privately, in person, and said to me, Ben, I really appreciate you doing that. Like, because you're showing us the dark humor and really showing us about you. You've always been about laughing in life and having a good laugh and having humor. And up to that moment, you kept that, And I know your aunt also is a humorous lady. So both of you kept that, and some people appreciate. I was expecting more like, hey, man, it's very disrespectful, more conservative reactions. But a lot of people were like, you know what, I wouldn't dare to do it, but you do it, and I respect you for that. And I'm like, wow, that's,
So how I would relate to that is like, as an old bride, because I, had, I don't know, bad luck with relationships. That's the short story. So I met my husband at the age of 40. We got married at 43. And one of the things that I would say also scared me about falling in love or being that vulnerable with someone is that you might lose them.
Yeah.
And that's the shadow of relationships, right? That's the dark side of love, right? Is that there's this beauty and there's the hope of what love brings. And then you're like, but if I lose it, oh my gosh, right? So I think going back to your dark sense of humor and being okay with death in that sense, or having had experiences in your life at such a young age where you've had to embrace your shadow side and the shadows of relationship. It really is kind of a message of hope, because it's telling people that it's okay to feel this scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to, there's hope in that as well. Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think like what you said, actually, you're right. I mean, one of the shadows of relationships is the fear of losing.
Yeah.
Right. It's fear of losing the relationship, right? Or losing the person, right? And now you got me thinking again, like I never, a lot of people think that because I lost my mom at a very young age, I think it has affected my potential relationships in the future.
Mm.
I mean, they just assume, right? Like, oh, means
You're the ladies' man, though, is it?
No. I would say I'm very serious in relationships.
Okay.
Like, I take relationships very seriously. Like, even with friendships, I'm like, no, if I'm gonna be your friend, everything, I'm very serious about it. I want this to work, and I want to, I make sure there's development and maintenance per se, right? And this is what I even do in my own like relationship with potential partners. I said, no, I'm very serious about this. I think the fear of losing is normal.
Yeah.
The fear of losing will make me okay. When there's two ways, right? I can either the fear of losing, it can become obsession or insecure. But I decided to take it like the fear of losing somebody has made me just want to be the best person I can be for the person. But it's more me inward. Yeah, it's more like what I can be for you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you've really embraced your shadow as a teacher almost.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can say that, but I mean, for me, the shadow in relationships for me, as if I were to say I'm the shadow, is to be present. Is to be present for someone. Yeah, like that's how I view shadow in a relationship. Like, that means I feel like, so if a light is shone on something or someone and then there's a shadow, means the person's there.
Yes.
They're present, they're alive. But sometimes, figuratively, if a light shines on somebody, there's no shadow. That means they're not there in your life. They're present but not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem there, but they're not really there. There's no shadow being shown. So yeah.
So you seem to me to be very self-aware. Have you met people who have not embraced their shadow side?
Oh, many.
And how has that maybe affected you? Because sometimes it's hard to connect with someone who's not in the same sort of vibe.
I think that's probably one of the issues maybe that I've had with like a lot of partners or friends even, right? Like because I've kind of like embraced my shadow per se, and many are still figuring it out. It's weird. I get different reaction from people. So some they don't envy me or they resent me because they're like, oh wow, you got yourself figured out. So you must think you're so good. And I'm like, yo, no, I'm just telling you I'm comfortable and I just want to help you be comfortable. It's like, no, you think you're so good, right? And then that affects the relationship.
Oh wow.
Or there's others that envy and they're like, wow, I want to be like you, but they don't do anything about it. Yeah, so I think even when it comes down to personal relationships, even family and friends, I can see the mixed feelings about it. The society is now trained that no one's perfect, right? So I get it. No one is perfect. But they can't seem to accept people who have found ways to just accept things in their life. Like how I've accepted a lot of like, understanding life and death now because of my mom passed away. Now even more my aunt passed away. I've accepted things in my life. And some people who cannot accept it, they look at me, they're like, no, you're supposed to be, I'm sure you have problems still with that. I'm like, no, I accept it. Yeah. But I think that's ironically, embracing my shadow also, it's not perfect. We'll still have problems outside.
Sorry?
It's not perfect still.
Yes.
Instead, I can like confidently say I've embraced my shadow, but there'll still be reactions from outside, right? External forces. But and like so you say you're old as an old bride, right?
Yes.
As an older bride. Old bride, I don't have to use the word old bride, so older bride,
Yeah.
What were the shadows you had to face then? Yeah, I can't imagine. What do you feel like you faced there?
I knew I struggled a lot with being vulnerable in relationships, and I I guess, I mean, I wasn't consciously trying to do that in my younger years, but I know when I crossed into my 40s, I started to reflect on my dating patterns before, right? Because I'm the common denominator here. How come I'm not married yet?
Right.
How come because I have had long-term relationships, but I guess I wasn't always all in. So there's a limit to my commitment, right? There's always an escape plan. There's always some way that I can so-called control the situation or find fault with the relationship. Like, this isn't working. We need to break up. Or if it broke up because it wasn't working, I wouldn't feel so badly about it.
You would feel like the world crashed down.
Yeah.
So because you didn't go all in, per se, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I want to say that, if you find yourself, because I say old bride because most times people think 40 is old, right? Especially if you want to have kids, you want to start a little bit earlier, or we eventually had to go through the IVF route and that didn't work. So I had to also deal with potentially not being a mother.
Right.
And I guess I'm okay with that now that I've crossed into my 50s or just turned 50. But the shadow in that relationship, before you even make that commitment to someone, you need to deal with those shadows, because in the past, when I did not deal with my shadows, it dictated the kind of relationships that I attracted. So I spent a lot of time embracing, like I said, I believe the shadow is your unloved parts of yourself. So, the parts that you've rejected or you've abandoned.
Yes.
And I had to spend time unpacking that, because my parents are divorced, right? So there was a lot of fear about commitment. And I had to heal those situations and find joy in potentially just being alone for the rest of my life as well. But yeah. And then I met my husband. So, and thankfully it's sorry to say that again. And it's the healthiest relationship I've ever had. So,
great.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Because we all have shadows, as you started off by saying, that you don't think you're special in any way in that sense. Although I think you are, because I fangirl you. But, yeah, for me, my shadow growing up was just, my parents eventually divorced and stuff. So that impacted a lot of my personal relationships and also how I viewed myself. So I never integrated my shadow self until maybe only in my 30s, 40s, I would say. So you've had a head start on that.
I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. The experience I had to go through. But because I experienced it, I couldn't choose it. All right, I had to accept it and move on. But talking about like shadows in terms of like I think watching our parents, like you mentioned about, your parents divorced, and that definitely affected yourself, like, some decisions you make in the future, right? It became part of the shadow, right? And I think even for me, right, like for relationships wise, my parents used to fight a lot. And I watched as a kid growing up. And I tell myself, I'm glad, okay, there's two ways, right? So some people I know who look at it like, I don't want to ever be in a relationship. Because if this is what a relationship is about, fighting, then I don't want it. But it's more like I told myself, no, I don't want to ever be like that in my own relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know my mom and dad were trying. I know they're trying, but it was a different time. I understand. It was a different time, and that's why they argue so much. But I told myself, I don't want that in my relationship. You know, and that became, I would say, in a weird way, my positive shadow. Like the shadow, it became a shadow of me. Like, so no, it will always be that, no, I don't want this, and it will always follow me around and remind me when something happens in a relationship, people, like violence and screaming and everything. I'm like, shadows, like, I can imagine my shadow looking at me and say, no, I don't
do that.
I don't approve.
Yeah.
Or like reminding me also, Ben, don't be like that, huh? Yeah. And but how much of your, if you don't mind me asking, your parents' relationship do you think affected you?
I mean, when you think of a divorce, it's not so much just their marriage breaking up. It there's other repercussions, like the family breaking up, and then how people deal with their own shadows, right? So I have two younger brothers.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, I guess we were just all trying to survive because it also impacted us financially, right? So when you're in survival mode, trying to make ends meet, you don't really have time to unpack your emotions, I guess. So the dark side of, I mean, divorce in itself is a big shadow, but like there's darker parts to it, I guess, which impact the people around you, right? And then the extended families, because inevitably people want to take sides or they don't want to get involved. So there were also relatives, I guess, who I guess I decided to stay away from because of where they had their loyalties and things. So it impacted me in so many ways beyond just my relationships romantically, but also, I guess, how I perceived people. Like I learned from a very young age that I couldn't depend on anyone. So, and that kind of thinking, it got me far in terms of this industry, right? Because the entertainment and media industry can be very competitive and also very self-reliant, especially as a radio DJ, right? You're like stuck in a studio. You don't really get to see your audience sometimes. So you have to be very self-reliant. And it's given me a lot of great skills in my profession, right? So I don't need external validation because like in radio or even in entertainment or even in content creation, you're looking for likes, right? You're looking for the number of followers, your ratings and stuff like that. And I get it on a professional metric level, but on my spiritual level as myself, my self-worth, I don't care about those things. So it's given me some good things, right? But as I got older and I was wondering, how come I am not finding someone that I can see forever with? I realized that shadow was also blocking me from being more vulnerable and being able to rely on someone because people want to be needed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
So I had taught myself not to need anyone. And that in itself is not what relationships are about. You want to be needed by your partner or your friend, right? Like even if it's, hey, Ben, I need you to cheer me up. I'm not feeling too good today. Like you feel important. So I needed to learn how to need people again. I think that was one of my lessons.
I totally get it, I'm the eldest son.
Yeah.
So, I understand the eldest child things, right? Like I had to look after my siblings. I was trained to look after the house and everything. So I was conditioned in the sense that I was used to not needing anyone, right? And I guess because my mom passed when I was young, right? So already from 20, I conditioned myself, oh no, my mom's not around and she's the one looking after me, and now I need to look after my siblings. I need to be responsible. My dad's not in Singapore, he's overseas. So I became used to just looking after myself and looking after others and not really needing And I realized that over the years, that became possibly, I guess you say, maybe a dark shadow. Like
Are you scared of needing someone still, or
no, not say scared. It's just I'm not used to it. Okay, not now, but there was a period of time in my 20s, I was just not used to it, and and I figured maybe not so healthy, lah. It's nice to not always be the one giving, but receiving from people who genuinely want, right? And I think for the past few years I learned to be more like, okay, let me receive, which is, but I think, like I say, it's just because I was conditioned that way.
Yeah.
Right. And, to be more open to that, I could say that's I don't know whether to put it as a positive or negative part of my shadow, right? Not needing anyone or not getting used, it sounds very sad, right? Not needing anyone, no. But like more like in the sense of like, being more open to accept. I mean, it's good to not need anyone. I guess it's fully independent, right? But like, no man's an island.
Yeah.
Really. But I totally get it because we're in the same, we're in this industry, right?
Yes.
Say.
I'm the eldest as well, so I get where you're coming from.
And in our industry or media industry where sometimes when you're overly needy, you get eaten up, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
get
very
eaten up.
competitive.
Yeah, it's like in the end, you need to fight for yourself. You need to fight for yourself. If not, yeah. But it's all about the balance, I think. Yes.
Yes. But in relationships, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a bit more so I
Yeah.
can understand. You're in a relationship or?
Oh, I've been dating for years of
Okay.
many people. Yeah. Dating around.
Dating many people?
Not at one time, not at the same time. Not at the same time. I lunch one, dinner one. I said, no, not the same.
Okay,
But
so let's clarify.
yeah.
You have a girlfriend?
No, I don't have a girlfriend currently.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
but I've gone on a lot of dates over the
Okay,
years.
okay,
I've
okay.
had like mini short-term relationships because I just kind of like, I don't know whether it's a good thing or bad thing that I kind of know what I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when I figure out that, hey, I really don't think we can work out long-term, I just pull the plug. Okay, sounds bad, but just say, hey, let's not waste each other's time. Right? I don't think we will be able to do long-term. And I'm looking for long-term.
You're looking for long term.
Yeah,
okay.
because I understand if I'm not looking for long-term, I can just, 2 years, 1 year, I got someone, But I do want to commit my time to someone that's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I've experienced that feeling too,
Right.
where it's like, I know what I want. I'm not
Yes.
going to waste someone's time.
Yeah.
Let me let you go and let me go find someone else. Don't want to waste your time. You feel very noble about this. But
Nobility.
I also realized it was a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
right? Because then you're kind of protecting yourself. And what shifted for me was when I recognized that it was a self-protection mechanism, right? Because I need to be able to hold space for someone. And also what I think is my type is also a conditioned idea, right?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
something that is actually my type, because I think now, having been married for 7-8 years, so I can't count, 7 years, I know that, or I feel that the right partner for us, what we think and what actually becomes your partner, they're two different things, right?
Yeah.
The right partner for me, and this is my husband, is because he challenges me. It's not because he's right. It's because he makes me a better person, because he's that person that maybe triggers some of my buttons or brings up things I haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
And I wonder, are you playing it safe?
Good question.
Yeah, because
I
if you're
think-
saying, I know what I want,
Yeah.
and this person doesn't match up, are you holding enough space for that person to
Right.
be
Yes.
all of who they are, rather than a checklist that you've got in your mind, right?
So actually, similar to you, I'm just looking for someone who can challenge me to be better in what I'm doing now or in my life. As opposed to someone where I just look after. I'm looking for the bounce back,
Yeah.
the bounce off, right? Like, I think okay, so when I tell people I'm looking for that perfect person, a lot of people think I mean like a perfect girl. But anyway, the standard answer is, I know no one's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, I know no one's perfect. I'm not looking for a perfect person, but I'm looking for that perfect girl with everything as a package, who I'm willing to live my whole life with or see my life through. And I know there will be that challenge of like, for me to be better also. Right?
What do you think that looks like, though? Someone who challenges you?
So someone who cares also. I think the most basic, cares about, because what I do is very specific, right? It's like I do online content creation, everything, and I like to be funny, I like to banter everything. If that person, I'm looking for someone who can accept that
Yes.
and also care about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I don't need you to fully understand my career, but like to push me, hey, so what's your next move, or what's your next step to be better? Like then I know that small thing of like knowing and caring. You know? It's like, for example, if for you in radio that time,
Yes,
right? If I said, what's your next step, Cheryl?
Yeah.
Like just simple things like that. Like, so what's your next step? What can I do to help you get to your next step? Just simple things like that. I'm looking. But I think I just met a lot of people who, because they don't understand, which I get, because they could be from very different industries from me. It's just, I'm happy for you. Or like, okay, cool, you're doing this.
Aww.
Or like, or like most of the time it's mainly like, your industry a lot of girls, huh? Every week you got to meet girls, huh?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I see where this is going now. Gosh, yeah. So I'm just Yeah, I think because I'm in a very sense, I'm very unique in the sense of what I do in my career, right? It's like I said, it's not that I'm looking for the perfect version of a girl. I'm just looking for someone who cares,
Yeah.
and that also I must care about her, lah,
Yeah.
right? And I'm patiently just waiting for that. I'm slowly looking and finding. Yes, yeah.
So what changed for me in
Yeah.
my journey, my dating journey, right? Or my love journey, let's
Yeah.
say, is I decided one day I'm not looking for a relationship. I literally told myself I'm looking for a husband.
Boom, boom.
And that in itself was actually very scary
Yeah.
to admit, right? Because you don't really know if this is going to work. And clearly from my family's track records, it didn't, right? It didn't last forever. And as you said as well, like when you see shadows of relationships being demonstrated in front of you where your parents are fighting or the relationship breaks down, you see the dark side of love. You see the dark side of relationships. You tell yourself, I will never do that. I don't want that for myself. But then how do you guarantee this, right?
Yeah.
So to admit to myself eventually was that I wanted a husband. I didn't just want to, because I used to date like, let's see where it goes. Let's get to know each other and then see where it goes. And those things never work out, in my experience, at least. And I think it's about intentions, right? Because if you start something with the intention of, oh, I'll just see where it goes. I mean, try starting your day like that. Wake up one day and say, I'll just see where the day goes. You're not going to accomplish anything,
I know
right?
a lot of hobo friends who do that. But
But
I don't know. Yeah, see how lah. Yeah.
And I realized if I dated that way, I'm not going to get to where I want to be. So I had to admit to myself that what I wanted was a husband.
Right.
And in order to find a husband, what I needed was to become a wife. And that was a revelation of going, well, what does a wife look like? Because I need to start preparing for that. I don't mean the cooking, cleaning. Obviously, that's not a wife job. That is a house job that you share. Let's just be clear. But it also meant that I needed to clean up my toilet, right? And make sure that when he arrives, when he comes, that I'm ready. I'm ready for love. I'm ready for this commitment. I don't know. Have you gone through that kind of revelation yet?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a potential life partner.
Oh,
potential life partner, a wife. Like
Ben, 1-800, call Ben now.
Yeah. Any potential husband lookers too. Yeah. So, but yeah. I think in my 20s I'm looking for a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Now in my 30s I'm looking for a life partner, right? And that's why I'm more particular about certain traits, lah.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm okay with that. I mean, of course, to everyone else who dates, who has girlfriend after girlfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend after boyfriend non-stop, right? I say there's two different sides. Like, I just chose the path of I really know what I'm looking for, and I'll just, when I date somebody, I'm like, okay, I'm looking for, can we do this? And I will just know eventually, right? Within 3-4 months, if we can be life partners together, based on like life view and honesty. I always look for honesty. Can we be honest and real? If you cannot be real with me now in 3-4 months, I don't think you cannot tell me, oh, give me 2 years. I mean, that's too long. Then for you to be real and honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Tell me now that you're cheating on me, not 2 years later. But yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because once I also feel the base of a relationship I'm looking for is honesty. If we both can be honest with each other, we can honestly take on the world. Because I know what you feel, you know what I feel, and then yes, we can do this together because we're not hiding anything. Right? So yeah.
You picked up my capo-ness, my capo side there when you said, don't tell me in 2 years that you're cheating on me. Did this actually happen?
No. Yeah, it's just I love to joke about that.
Oh, okay. What is the most painful thing that you have experienced in a romantic relationship?
Oh, probably being ghosted suddenly. Yeah. Like everything is going well with your conversation. Like,
in a relationship or in a dating scenario?
It was dating scenario.
Okay.
But it was like going well 2-3 months, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like it's okay if you suddenly don't feel it. I'm very secure that way. I feel that if you don't have
say
feelings
something,
anymore,
right?
just tell me. Of course, it will hurt, but it won't I won't be like the crumbling down, because I want someone to want me as much as I want them. And if they don't, I don't force. I can't force. I always believe I can never force that, right? But I just rather the honest conversation. But of course, I kena the ghost. I kena the Halloween, I kena the just gone.
Wow.
And that's like, it's more anger than anything else.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like,
just
how
tell
dare
me.
you?
Just tell me. That's it. Don't
Yeah.
leave me hanging. Yeah.
And like you said earlier, like a person with a shadow proves that they're there, because a ghost doesn't have a shadow. So yeah.
Exactly.
But still, it's not a cool way to interact with someone.
Yeah. So well, how about you? I mean, well, you say you have many relationships, right? So what's
when you're married at 43, yes, you can say that. I don't know. I think I always protected myself.
Right.
So I didn't, even though maybe cry here and there, it's like the fear of losing my husband now, just the imagination of that potential possibility is so much more painful than any heartbreak I've ever had before, right? Because I'm so much more invested in it. But I have been ghosted, and I didn't even know this was a term. Okay, so
yeah, it's a very new term.
It's a
relatively
new term.
Yeah.
And being this age, Gen X, we have dated the analog way for the most part of my life, right? Meeting people through friends. And then, of course, I did a bit of the online dating. And initially, when I started online, right, I'm like, very paise, right? Because like, I'm a public figure, I'm on radio. People might recognize my name. Like, how many people are named Cheryl Miles? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I lie about my surname. So I think, I can't remember now, but does Tinder have a surname? No, right? I don't think so. But I used I used to hide my surname. I used to hide my profession.
Yeah.
And I used to, because I didn't want people to date me for, wow, VIP invites to certain things or free drinks here and there. I wanted someone to, as you said, take an interest in what I do and be there to support my work, but also not be there because like it's cool to date a radio DJ or it's cool to date a content creator or someone who's famous or in the public eye. And when I dated that way, I only attracted the worst kinds of people, right? Because I guess you get what you put out. So I was hiding behind a lot of things to protect myself, thinking I was protecting myself. Well, when I had this, realization I'm looking for a husband, I changed my dating tactic completely. I put my full name.
Yeah.
I signed up for Bumble, which is different dating app, which is also different because Tinder can be a bit weird. I don't know. I haven't been on the dating apps lately, so they might all be weird now. Who knows? But the point was I started to be more upfront. I said my profession on my bio, and I wanted to see when that guy shows up for the date, what kind of interest, they would take in me. Like if the interest was, hey, can you give me an invite to the latest whatever gala, or can I get movie tickets to this and that? I'm like, okay, you're just in it for the freebies. But when I met my husband, he was interested in me. He was like, how did you become a radio DJ? What was how challenging was that? And he was interested in every step of the way and would help me with my interviews, like, oh my gosh, I'm interviewing Seal. He's like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite artist, and so we would fangirl together instead of being, idolized by someone else, which I think is so weird.
Yeah.
So I had to overcome some of my shadows in order to get to that side, right? Do you think that you're ready and willing, or have you not gotten over that? Do you feel like you have to be protective because you are a public figure when you date or when you go out there and stuff like that?
Great question. If only it was as easy for me to just hide my surname and no one recognizes me. Yeah.
Well, the hair is hard to disguise.
Yeah, it's like, no, good question. I think I got this question a lot. Like, especially, I've been doing this for 7 years, and across the years, I got more and more known, right? People do ask me all the time, hey, are you afraid that when you go dating, especially on dating apps, I was on it during COVID, like, are you afraid that you only find people who want to date you because of who you are as a person, as opposed to, so it's who you are in the public eye, as opposed to who you really are as a person?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I guess whether I'm afraid or not, I can't escape the fact that it might be true certain times, right? But anyways, I was only on dating apps because it was hard to meet people during COVID. But I've always believed in meeting people personally in real life.
Yes.
I've always liked to go out to girls in a bar or in an event and get to know them first and then slowly ask them out in person. I've always been about that genuine. Yeah, I don't like online. Yeah.
So you have met people in person
Yes.
and formed
Yes, and I prefer that.
relationships from that.
I love
Yeah.
it. So genuine. We both get to really see each other in our physical elements, and then if I've shown you enough and she's shown me enough, and I ask her out, she said yes, means she's kind of likes
Yeah.
at least this 50% of what she knows of me, right?
Yes.
Of who I am outside, right? Yeah. But yeah, so I would say I and also it's easier for me to pick it out if the person is clearly having. There's only one the
If they've got stars in their eyes, or
they
they've
want
got
a free,
ulterior
a
motives.
free VIP, invite to free media tastings. Yeah. Although I really want to bring them, but it cannot be the reason why they want.
Yes,
to come,
they want to be with you for you, right?
Yeah, but but funny enough, when you're mentioning that, right, about the dating part, like it seems as if in another way you could be hiding behind a shadow of yourself, just so that people won't see it. Like you're saying, so the people online, the apps won't see the real you, or they don't want them to know the real you, like the Cheryl Miles online yet, because you want them to like at least have the opening and you don't want them to have ulterior motives, right? But yet you can't. But yet that will come out eventually, and if they're always going to take advantage, they will do it later on still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But shadow of ourselves. Yes. Thank
Finally
you for sharing.
chatting with you face to face.
Ironically, in this kind of setting, since you're a DJ, radio DJ and all, right?
And I would have to say, like, as much as, now that I have met you in person as well, I mean, and chatted about a little bit more about your personal life.
Yes.
I see how you are on camera and you are the same person. And I think that, when it comes to content creation, of course, we curate it and we curate our personality such that we are professional and appear the way that we need to appear. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that I have to say about you, Ben. It's like you're really authentic through and through. And now that I understand, where your shadow side and how you've dealt with it comes from, it's like I'm really starting to understand that when you integrate your shadow and you embrace it, it's really powerful, right? And it's how we become a bit more authentic and connect with people on a deeper level. Because if we can't connect with our dark sides and our pain and all the stuff, how do we connect with another person?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although there was a time in my life where I used to only be attracted to someone's dark side.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm
the
like,
emo kid in you, is it?
yeah, because you think no one's gonna understand my shadow. I need to find someone who has a dark side. But then I realized all our shadows are different, right? And that's a bit, trauma bonding is not a cool way to date, but right? Obviously, you don't want to bond with someone on their pain or their shadows, but you do want someone who has connected with their shadow.
Right.
As well, would you say? Is that what you're looking for in a relationship now?
I ideally will love someone to at least understand themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not use me to understand themselves. It's especially.
Do you feel like a therapist in your relationship?
Yeah. I mean, especially when I'm already like 34, right? And it's like, I don't have problems I had when I was 24. Still figuring out who I am, right? Yeah, but and I really figured out who I am, and now it's about moving forward in life, and I want someone together with me. Yes, and thanks for sharing. And I think for me, one of the big takeaways today is, I guess, as a fellow person in the media industry, and sometimes in the spotlight, and sometimes it's nice. I always like to meet my peers, right? And I guess in a way you're like my older sister in a sense, another Eurasian girl, Eurasian girl who loves to be expressive and everything, and to hear a story also reminds me about we're all human, and it's also a gentle reminder about especially the phrase, right? What's the phrase again? The candle.
the brightest
light
cast the darkest shadows.
And it's true, it's a reminder to me also about maybe the more there's more awareness about me online, I need to look after myself also lah. Careful and look after myself. And it's nice that you remind me that, right? And there's hope.
Yeah.
And also, the second thing I took away is that you can look this amazing at 50. Okay, and I was holding myself together when she said she was 50. I couldn't believe it. Okay? So I'm still holding myself together. I'm like, what? You're kidding me? There's hope.
Well preserved.
Yeah. So
thanks to wine.
Oh, okay.
No, maybe let's not say that.
Yes.
So I mean, this has been really awesome. So thanks once again, Ben. This has been really awesome. I can't remember the last time I had this kind of a conversation with someone. So thanks to Clean Your Toilet podcast for having us as well. And what a great reminder that when you do the inner work, your shadow self, your future self will thank you for it. So do your inner work today.